Hello everyone, welcome to Pagan's Pathway. My name is Sheldon Slinkard, and today we're going to talk about the Himta austerities of the Lythia faith because it has been requested by many people, and here it is. So without any further ado, let's get started. Alright, so what is Himta? Himta is kind of like kosher or halal in Judaism and also in Islam. And it just simply means that there are certain things we don't do and we don't eat because of religious reasons. I have my list of things over here. You can't see them because they're on my screen. And I do apologize that my mouth is not matching up with the audio. For some reason, my computer thinks it's funny to do this, and my camera is with someone else. So bear with me on this video. Hopefully it doesn't continue. But I'm going to go through just 10 of them. There are actually like 15 to 20, depending on how strict you are. I may go through less. It depends on how long the video is. Um, but yeah, so it depends on how strict you are. So the very first one that many people in the Lythia faith observe is we don't eat pork. And the reason we don't eat pork was because when this austerity or this fast or this restriction of diet was created, it was because pork was easily diseased. It was believed that evil spirits or dark spirits or whatever, evil is not really a word we use, but it's the most simple in English to say. But they would be able to infest the meat and create things that could kill you physically and spiritually. Nowadays we know that it's just because maggots got in there and then flies grew, and it's just a whole gross mess. But it's still observed since it's so ingrained into the Himta way, the Lythia tradition of using this. We always pray over our food. The thing in the Lythia language is Karashiat vor matre shutara maidor paratimai. And so you'll see it down here. But that's what it is. It's pretty much like watch over this food, make sure it's healthy, please don't let it kill us because it's gross, things like that. You're not supposed to drink alcohol unless it's during ritual time, as far as like, I guess, lack of better term, communion. But I don't see a lot of people observing that one anymore, and I'm not sure why they don't observe it anymore, but it's just something. Another one is you uphold the fast. So throughout the year, like right now, we have to cover our heads. Mira loops. So we have to cover our heads. There's another one where we can't cut our hair for a certain amount of time. Another one where we can't eat dairy products. Things like that. So you observe the fast. You uphold them and you do them. Another one is you can't eat meat and legumes together. So say you had a steak and you wanted to put peanuts on it. I don't know why you would do that, but maybe you do. You can't do that. And the reason that I like to say it to remember this one is there's too much protein. You don't need that much protein. But yeah, you don't do that simply because it's a waste, because back in the day, it's you were given the foods that you needed to survive, and so having too much of one type, so legumes and meat, which would be protein, you were kind of gorging yourself on one thing, and so you were imbalanced. So that's why it became an austerity, which leads into the next one, which is modest portions. You don't overeat. You don't what's the word? Gluttonize. Yeah, you don't. You're not a glutton. You just eat to get like full, so that your body has the energy to do what it needs to do for that day or the next day. You don't just eat and eat and eat and eat and eat unless it's like a feast festival, such as the harvest times and things of that nature. Then another one for food is you don't eat food like water living animals. So there could be like water mammals, shellfish, things like that. You don't eat those after sundown. And the reason is because it's actually a really cool story. It's like a long story, but here's like the abridged version. The reason is because when the sun goes down, you can no longer see the animals of the sea because they've been hidden in shadow. The Fatari, or the god and goddess, have hidden them because it's their time to rejuvenate, to live with themselves. It's kind of like when you go home, you don't want anyone to call you. You don't want a telemarketer to call you at dinner time situation. That's kind of how it is. And so you don't eat them after the sun goes down because that's their sacred time. It's not your time to take them or to change their natural order, if that is a good way of explaining it. That's how I've always explained it. Another one, we don't eat foods that are cured in salt. So, I mean, we don't eat pork, so this is a bad example, but bacon, you can't eat bacon. And the reason is because, how I've always explained it to people is because salt is a representation of earth. I mean, it's a rock, mineral, rock, science. Anyways, so it represents earth, and so a meat or any other food that's cured in it, it causes it to have an imbalance. It's always about this balance situation. So if you have too much earth that you're ingesting, then you become imbalanced with too much earth. And so that will cause imbalance in your life in many, many sections of life and such like that. So that's how it's always been explained. And it also goes against the earlier one about modest portions. Even the things like if you have too much earth, that's not a modest portion of the earth element. If you use elements as a representation of balance, that's kind of another reason why you don't eat foods cured in salt. Red meat cannot be well done when it's cooked. That is because in Lythia, it's kind of a weird thing that I've noticed people think it's weird. For me, I mean, it's just normal. But food that is red meat, the blood, I put that in quotes. It's not a weird term. It's just blood. But that is the nutrients of it. A lot of people will say that, it's rare, medium, and then you're starting to ruin the steak just for flavor purposes. It's also for nutrient purposes. But that's why. It's because that is giving you the nutrients, and if you make it well done, you don't get as much. And that was made just because if you were going to take the life of something to sustain your own or the life of your family or other living organisms or whatever that eat meat, red meat specifically, then you need to get all you can out of it and not waste what you can get out of it. And so that was a big thing. So that's why we don't eat well done red meat or any food really. And then the last one that I pulled out, I didn't pull them out. It's already 8 minutes long, this video. Is consuming animals that have died of natural causes. I know this is a weird one. And it's oddly specific. But yes, we don't eat animals that have died of natural causes. That is because if it's life force, it's soul, if you believe animals have souls, we don't have that construct in Lythia, but if that's how you see it, then that's an easier way to connect. But that has already been taken by the Fatari, the god and goddess. I always put them like this. It's like god and goddess. They're equal. But it's already been taken, and so it's not ours to take. It's ours to lay to rest, but not to ingest, because it no longer has nutrients, energetically, spiritually, however you want to see it. And that nutrients is what we're after. It's what feeds us. And it's, for example, it's kind of as if, okay, say someone came out and they farmed something, all right? Well, they want you to come out to their garden and pick a few things, and, it's open, just go ahead. Well, they go, and before you get there, they grab a few peppers or zucchini or whatever kind of vegetable or fruit that they have out there, and they set it in a basket, and it has their name on it. Okay, well, they've already picked that. That is no longer yours to pick. That's no longer yours to decide to grab and consume, because it's been already been called for. It's already been taken. So you don't take that, and that's kind of how it is. It's natural death is because it's the Fatari, the god and the goddess, have put their name on it. It's theirs. They're taking it home with them. That's their share of it. That's it's a natural libation, natural sacrifice, if you want to use those terms. Instead of us actively doing it for them, that's been set aside already for them. So that's why we don't eat it, because it would be like snatching from whoever had that farm or whatever, and they had set it aside for themselves. So that's another reason. And the reason we do all of these, and I went through and gave some weird examples and all that jazz like I do. If you've seen my other videos, I like examples. But the reason we do this is because it shows our dedication to it. There are some Lythia who don't do these things. To be a fully confirmed Lythia, you do have to follow a certain set of these. My life is a lot easier because I'm a vegan, and it's for health purposes. My doctors have put me on a vegan diet, but so it makes my life a lot easier to be Lythia, because all these things about meat is just like, well, meat, whatever. But we do it because these have been laid out, and it shows our dedication. Whether you believe these were man-made or inspired by the Fatari, the god and goddess, that's up to you. But whether they are or not, it shows that we have decided to take things out of our lives to sometimes, depending on the society and culture you live in, it may make your life more difficult. You may live in a place where shellfish is abundant, and then you have to eat before the sun goes down. So there are those things. So it's because we want to show our reverence to the god and the goddess, the Fatari is what we call them, the Fatari. And so, yeah, that's kind of why we have it. If you have questions or comments, put them down below. And watch my other videos. You can subscribe here if you want to. I know you do. And if you have any other questions or videos you want me to do, I did this one because a lot of people have been asking me, especially one person. They've asked me for months. I feel so bad about it. And I'm working on the second book about Lythia coming up, and I'm also going to make a Himta cookbook that correlates with all the holidays and all of the fasts. So that will help out a lot. And I think that's it. So please keep up with me, subscribe, like I said, this way, and also check out Pentacles of Pride International. So that's pentaclesofpride.org, and request a free pentacle. Please donate. We desperately need donations because we are a nonprofit, and if you know what nonprofit means, it means we have no profit. So please find it in your heart to give, and thank you for bearing with me with this long video. It's about 13 minutes now. I'm Sheldon Slingard, also known as Pagan's Pathway, and I hope you have a lovely, wonderful day. Stay blessed and keep in contact. Bye.